we're 2-6. It's not great. People are calling for Derek Carr. People are calling for Josh McDaniels. People are calling for Patrick Graham. People are calling for, the Raiders are calling for Jonathan Abram because they just cut him today. So there's a lot of, finger pointing. But, Cody, do the Raiders need to tank the rest of the season, or should they try and get to 500?
See, okay, this is what makes this tough, because we're asking, what do we want to do for pride's sake, and what should we do for our organization? Here's what I'll say. We've already committed a lot of money to players like Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. I think what we need to do is, I think for the sake of the locker room and for the morale, we need to fight to get to at least 500. Is my opinion. I think we need to find a way to work together to get on the same page, to see that McDaniels' system works, that we can finish football games, because it's not going to, even if we did tank per se to get a top draft pick, it doesn't mean anything if we don't learn how to finish games and win in the opportunities that we have, because all we're going to do is frustrate ourselves. Now, I think for sure from now on, the expectation is, let's just see how this game plays out. And that's why I alluded to with the Colts being dysfunctional, and yet the Raiders are playing them this Sunday. I don't know how optimistic I am about the Raiders playing them. So I'm just going to say, anything could happen. And I'd like to say the Raiders have a great opportunity, just because the Colts are so disorganized. The Raiders could not have a better opportunity to kind of get some sort of momentum or some sort of confidence to win. But I will say, I think just for the morale of the team, and just so that way they can all show that they can play as a unit, I think we do need a fight to be at 500. The expectation is to just finish the season strong as best we can. I don't even think we're going to get to a wild card nor the playoffs. So that's not anything I'm now anticipating or my expectations are. Right now, my expectations are, let's finish with the best record we possibly can. I think we're still worthy enough to get to 500 as long as we just come together. And I think this is a great opportunity for that building process to start. So that's what I'll say is, I think 500 is what I would still strive for if I were the Raiders.
I tend to agree. I would rather just go for 500. I know a lot of people are like, let's tank, let's go after a new quarterback. Listen, we'll get to it in a moment. I'm not going to go that far, but it depends on what McDaniels wants to do, because right now he's our head coach. Sorry, my dog is right here scratching himself. You're going to hear the jingling here. Anyway, it just depends on what he wants to do. If McDaniels, when he came in, he said he wanted to work with Derek Carr. He wanted Derek Carr to be his quarterback. Okay, fine, whatever. If that's the case, then we need to go for 500. Because in no way, shape, or form are you going to tank and be like, we're going to still keep Derek Carr, whatever. But at the same time, I could also see a scenario where you do tank, but you don't take a quarterback. I am kind of under the impression that Josh McDaniels doesn't want to tank. I don't think he's really trying to tank, aka why the discussions with him and Mark Davis have been coming about. I don't think that's just like Mark Davis not knowing the plan, but Josh McDaniels was like, whoa, we were tanking the whole time, I think it's more so like they were talking about, this was supposed to be a playoff team, and obviously it's not been working out. And I think they're just having discussions on, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to try and save face, or do we want to trade everybody? And they ended up not trading anybody. So to me, it tells me that they are going to try for 500. Now, do I think they could get there? I do. To be perfectly honest, if we're going to spit out crazy thoughts here, if they lose one more game but win the rest of their games, they could still have a potential. They could still become a playoff team, even 2 losses. but they couldn't lose more than that. I think that's too far-fetched. Now, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm not saying they're going to do this where they're all of a sudden they're just going to start winning. I think the defense is horrendous. I think it's the worst defense in the NFL. Our offensive line has not played well at all. Hunter Renfrow regressed. Darren Waller never plays. Josh Jacobs has been phenomenal, but Derek Carr regressed. And I've been a big proponent of Derek Carr, and we'll go into the next question here, where a lot of people have been saying that, oh, we need to fire Josh McDaniels or we need to get rid of Derek Carr. So I'm going to propose this to you, Cody, first. I'll let you answer it, and then I'll go into what I think. But to answer the first question, I think they should tank because we need a good offensive line or at least another pass rusher because Chandler Jones is not doing it. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know how you go from Arizona to Las Vegas where you have Max Crosby on the other side versus J.J. Watt, who's always injured. He never plays. And for some reason, Chandler Jones is worse with a better pass rusher on the other side. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think that's all Patrick Graham, but I do think he has some responsibility for it. So I think they should tank because we need a game-changing type player, whether it be defensive side or offensive line, in my opinion. So that would kind of be why I would say just tank it. It's already bad enough. I mean, maybe win this game because you don't want to be the team that lost to the Colts where everyone was making fun of them. So I'm a little scared about this week, but for everything else, I think they should maybe try and tank. I mean, I feel silly for saying that about my own team, but I kind of feel like it's like we need a game changer. Like we really do. And if they got a quarterback, I'm okay with that too. I'd rather keep Derek Carr, and that's where the next question is going to come in.